Prime Minister traveled in the fighter jet.
You can sense there is no fear in it. Biggest masterstroke that Modi did was.
We have lost land to China.
And we all know what counts then. What was the CM telling?
Is it that Vishwaguru moment?
For Vishwaguru moment, stories about Agniveer.
பாரதத்தின் சொந்தங்களுக்கு வணக்கம். Today it's going to be an episode in English because I have an IAF veteran, Mr. Vinod, who had served as a squadron leader in Indian Air Force. When we say Teesri Bar Modi Sarkar, everybody has a different perspective here. So when you ask a youth, he will have a different perspective. A woman will have a different perspective. So let us hear the same from a veteran, Mr. Vinod Kumar sir. Sir, welcome to the show. Namaste.
Yeah, Vanakkam, Namaste. Thank you very much for having me on the show, madam. Why Modi? That is the topic you just asked, right?
Right.
So, me as I've been out, like I mentioned previously, left the Air Force almost 15 years back. When I was in the military, hated politics, hated politicians, because there was a certain, something like a stigma attached to politics and politicians because of the corruption. We all saw UPA 1, UPA 2, what happened, and around that is the time when I started taking. But once I left the military, because in military we have a code, we don't talk politics, we don't try to keep politics is a very private affair, because in the military we do not encourage politics at all. Ever since I left the military, that is when I started taking a bit of an interest. And I can tell you a very interesting story about my first interaction with Prime Minister Modi.
Oh, we wanted to hear, sir.
Yeah, okay. Because I left the IAF and I joined a company in Mumbai, and I was with the private sector, because there was some reasons because I had to leave the Air Force slightly early, and then I was working in this. One day I was called and said that the Gujarat Chief Minister, his helicopter is not serviceable, so they hired our helicopter. Basically, from Mumbai we went to Ahmedabad. So again, throughout, when I heard, I'd just come out of the military, just for just 2 months. It was a period after Kargil and all, and so we were told to take. He was supposed to fly from Ahmedabad. That was the first time I was supposed to fly him from Ahmedabad to Pipavav. That was for a LNG gas terminal inauguration. He had a lot of VIPs around and all. So the takeoff was at 8 o'clock in the morning. So previous evening, I was there in Ahmedabad. We were supposed to pick him up from there was a helipad very close to the secretariat. We were supposed to go there. So I was telling my other pilot, I said, see, these politicians, I'm sure that these guys won't be there. Be ready for a long day. You'll be waiting around. So when 7:30, we were supposed to push into the helipad. Okay, 8 o'clock was the takeoff. So we got delayed by about 10-15 minutes. By the time I landed at that helipad, it was 7:45. And as we were approaching to land, we saw there was a series of all the vehicles, the CM's cavalcade was. He was already there 15 minutes before the time. On time. And I'm talking about 2004, I think, probably, yeah. He was Chief Minister of Gujarat that time. And the other VIPs had not come. So, so we landed, we shut down, and he was there, and he was not angry, he was not throwing any tantrums, he was just standing there in one corner of the helipad, just talking to his, one or two political people had come to meet him, and he was standing. I was also standing. He came, shook my hand, and he was standing. So then, when the VIPs came late, and then that is when first time I noticed him, because I read about, I had been watching NDTV, I have been reading Hindu. So if you watch NDTV and read Hindu,
misinformation.
Yes, we will come to that later. So there is an impression which is formed. Okay, okay, he's this man. I was looking. And that's when, seriously, I'm not at all joking here. I noticed his eyes. and you see the clarity in the person. And that's honestly, I'm telling, the first thing I noticed about him was his eyes. And then finally the VIPs came. To cut a long story short, then I sat down. So I have been a helicopter pilot all my life. So whenever people sit in an aircraft, especially for civilians, military people not that much, when they sit, you can see a hint of, especially in a helicopter, a slight fear, because it's very noisy and all. This man was not, you can sense there is no fear in him. There is nothing called fear, and you can actually sense it when you stand next to him. We landed at Pipava. It was about 45-50 minutes flying time from Ahmedabad. When we landed there, it was a very open ground. And when the chief minister lands, there were thousands of people. He was very popular chief minister in Gujarat. So
Right.
there were thousands of people, garlanding him and taking him away. So we were just shutting down the helicopter, and me and the other pilot was there. I looked at him and I said, I did not find a place to sit because it was out in the open, Gujarat summers, heat. So I was like, where do we go and rest? And I saw the CM's cavalcade move, and maybe it must have moved about 50, 60 meters, and it stopped. It
Okay.
stopped, and this man thought, he did not get down from the car. I saw he called one of the SP senior police officials, the SP, and he said something, and the SP came to me. So I asked him, what was the CM telling? So he said, no, no, no. He just stopped the car and he said that because he said, please take care of the crew. They don't have a place to sit. This was my first interaction,
So
and honestly, and this is when you start, then that is when I started following the man, because all this propaganda, and it was all, we all know, from 2002 onwards, they have been chasing him for 12 years,
right.
continuously till he became the prime minister, and no bitterness, no anger. He just went about. He's like a sadhu, I think. He's more of a man on a mission. And for me, as a ex-defense person, I would say that when you look at PM Modi's the nationalism, one India, he doesn't look at India as Tamil Nadu or Uttar Pradesh or Maharashtra or Manipur. Look at what he has done to the Northeast,
True.
one of the most backward regions. We could not, so that's what he's done from. So that is one of the reasons why I started following him. This is my experience with PM Modi. If you can say that, yeah.
Sir, you mentioned about like a person traveling in a helicopter. If at all it's a civilian, they'll have a little fear. But you are saying this happened like in 20 years ago, maybe in 2004, 5. So
Correct.
recently, we also saw our, Narendra Modi traveling in a fighter jet,
Yes, yes. You
right?
you saw the expression, like, it is not for normal. It is not normal for people to, for especially for non-aviators, non-pilots to sit that comfortably and calmly. So you have to be on a, I honestly think that he conducts his life like a sadhu. He's like a sannyas. He wears suits and everything, but it is not normal for a person to sit like that comfortably in a fighter jet, you know. And he flew that. So I won't be surprised tomorrow he'll sit in a rocket and go anywhere. He's fearless because anything for the country. And you can. I've read stories, and I've spoken to some people from Gujarat here in around. This was around 2014 elections time. And the same thing, anyone who he meets, his first question is, especially when he was the chief minister of Gujarat, I've heard that he always say, "What can I do better?"
Okay.
You've seen Dr. Hegde's video. It's there on social media a lot. So he is constantly looking for ways to improve and completely in service of the motherland. So he's one person again so many years, ever since. I think he's the only prime minister in India's history who has gone to Siachen and celebrated, or he
Right.
ensures that he
Right.
celebrates Diwali with the soldiers.
And also in Rajasthan. Once in
In,
Siachen, once in Rajasthan,
yeah, yeah,
once in China, that border.
China border. He ensures that he spends, because he. So it is again. It's not. It's one thing of politics of you say, yeah, politicians can put on, but I think this person is leading by example. He's showing a way for all the other his team members. He is trying to inspire people on, so if you ask the services, definitely, I think he's brought this, everybody is interested in defense right now.
Right.
And I don't think in 2013 or something, there was this kind of an interest in the, like now you're doing an interview, there is the interest in the strategic affairs. There is an interest in the foreign policy, where India stands. You know, there was a kind of a despondency till about 2014, because I think primarily because of the extreme levels of corruption that was happening, right? I think, yeah. So,
Um, just to bring more clarity here, like I'm putting the same question in a different way. So
yeah.
when our prime minister traveled in the fighter jet and he posted a picture, there were people saying it was a staged one. It is not the real fighter jet, or he didn't fight in real. He didn't travel in real, because the people who posted were just keyboard warriors, may not be the subject matter expert. So being a subject matter expert here, I just wanted to know from you how easy or how tough it is to be in a fighter jet for a normal person who is not trained to be.
Look, for no 100% that video was real. Of course, that was that, because that was put out even by the Indian Air Force official
Right.
handle.
Right.
It was not a staged one. For these fighter jets come in. There is something called tandem seats. There can be a pilot in the front, and there is a trainer aircraft where the two pilots sit front and
Right.
back. But so the sitting in the aircraft or traveling the aircraft, you need definitely, because even Dr. Abdul Kalam recently, I don't know the current president, but
President
yeah,
Draupadi Murmu also traveled in one
yes,
session.
Draupadi Murmu ji also travel. Modi ji, then, but the thing is, the shots in the air, that is the difference. Everybody can sit in the rear cockpit. You will not even, of course, there is a G, you need a certain level of fitness,
Hmm.
there is G suits, but, a normal civilian can sit. But what I found interesting was his comfort in the cockpit. That is like that is rare for a normal person to sit that comfortably, and he was waving at the other jets, and also, and there is no, there is no doubt that it was not authentic, because the Indian Air Force handle also put it. And I've got many friends working in the AST, in HAL, and where he did that flight. So yeah, so that was not staged or something. I don't know, but of course he has. See, if you are out to do something good, you will have a lot of detractors. There will be people,
Right.
100%. So
Right.
yeah, again, one thing is that not to forget that he chose to sat in Tejas,
Hmm. Right.
which is a
Indian made.
indigenously built, Indian built aircraft. And
Hmm.
that's, everything this person does, Modi ji does, is sending out a message, in my opinion, because I'm a careful reader of, I like to see the different leadership styles, and he's always giving out messages to the people. And just for a Tejas, which is a new aircraft, which is Indian built, it is that level of confidence he wants to bring. And in that process, he was projecting, Atmanirbhar Bharat, Make in India. So those are the, again, since post 2014, the defense budget, or no, sorry, the defense exports, it's now gone to $2.7 billion,
Yeah, we are
Indian defense exports.
targeting
But
35,000 crore by 2030.
correct, correct. So 35,000 crores by 2030, and look, when he took office, probably I don't know what India exported. Nothing. We are a wholesale,
Somewhere
importer of.
around 1,500 crore, I guess.
Yes, the 1,500 crores is nothing in a for defense exports. And then we have got now the Tata's building C295s. Everything is because of the Make in India. They have tied up with Airbus, and they're building aircrafts in India. Atmanirbhar Bharat is, he's been pushing. So one thing for me as an individual is, I've seen, is the level of Atmanirbharta, the confidence. Eh? And this person, again, he had the Tamil Kashi Sangamam. Which
Right.
prime minister thinks like this? So he is I don't think he looks at whether his government is there or something. He's just serving the people of India. That's
He
it.
spoke Tamil in UN, United Nations meeting. When
Yes,
he went for the meeting, he spoke Tamil.
yes,
Even when he met our soldiers in Ladakh, I guess, there he told a
yeah.
Tirukural and he told the meaning of that, how a soldier should be.
Correct, 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 correct. So again, when you have a prime minister like this, for me, the opposition doesn't have a strategy against him because they are, here is one person who appeals to a person, some citizen sitting in Manipur, the same way as somebody sitting in Bhuj in Gujarat, or now in JNK, or whether he's sitting in Kanyakumari. For him, it is the Indian citizen. That's it. So that is the yeah. Yes, ma'am.
There is a continuous blame put on our prime minister saying it is now during this NDA era we have lost land to China. This has been told by every leader in the Congress party. How do you see this?
Again, the most amount of land lost. We all know about what happened in the '62
Right.
war, in the '62 war, and we all know what comes in. If you look at the map, Aksai Chin is so many square kilometers of land, thousands and thousands of square kilometers of land. When it was questioned, he said that yeah, so, not even grass
Last
grows
growth.
there. Yeah, not even a grass grows there. And I have operated in Jammu and Kashmir, and I spent about 5 years in Kashmir, actually Srinagar and Jammu, and ever post 2014, there are airports. All the airports around in JNK has been activated. And we had Galwan. What was the reaction previously? The amount of developments that has been taking place in the last 10 years in the border areas. He's building infrastructure. You start from Arunachal Pradesh to all the way up to Siachen. There is, the highways and roads that have been constructed. We've got these leftist, there is this leftist NGOs and activists who have gone against building of structures and roads in Uttarakhand. Or, unfortunately, it is all necessary. And the Atal Tunnel, which was built, all it is for civilian use, yes, but so China is definitely unnerved, and there is a set of people inside India who's actively collaborating with the Chinese to
Right.
destabilize. So
Right.
if a normal citizen thinks puts a bit of logic, you can understand that a lot of it is propaganda, and we saw that first time ever that the Chinese came in, and there was multiple series of videos floating on social media about the Indian soldiers pushing back. We all saw Galwan. The Chinese will never. They are also, we lost 20 soldiers or something. There is even reports of 112 Chinese soldiers in
Right.
the hand-to-hand combat. They are saying that okay, 20 people got killed. So anyway, so this is all part of propaganda. And one thing Modi ji has done is he has kept the focus on China. He's developed the border areas, which
Right.
has never been done. And that is a today, if there is weakness in the defense system, in our defense preparedness, which is because for decades nobody developed anything. When for defense equipment, whether it is defense equipment, we have been a wholesale supporter of, including boots. Soldiers' boots were being imported. Ever
Yes.
since late Manohar Parrikar ji was the defense minister, he was the one who renegotiated, and that's when PM Modi started this Atmanirbhar Bharat. Now a pin or everything was being imported. There was a time when everything was being imported. There is one Congress Prime Minister who famously said, right, when 100 rupees leaves Delhi, or probably 2 rupees reaches the citizen.
Yes.
So that is one when, and which PM Modi, once he took over, the contractors, the defense contractors are another lobby which is completely vanished from Delhi. You talk to so again, it's brought in accountability and transparency in dealings, in defense dealings. There will always be people unhappy. Like I've also heard stories about Agniveer.
Right.
There is
Anything to add?
lot of misinformation or information floating around about Agniveer. Um,
Even
Now,
the Congress manifesto, I think they have promised if they are back to power, if at all, they will remove Agniveer scheme. That is what they have promised.
yeah, look again, how wo- they there was for 42 years the people were waiting one rank one pension, which was announced in the 60s, and till PM Modi came on and took it on, started one rank one pension. We are all running budgets, right? So everything needs to be balanced out. And what all the other countries have got conscription, right? Singapore has got, you have to go and serve the country 2 years. So this is a form of bringing in a more disciplined, you are into the nation. You have a more disciplined people, and something like that. If nothing, we are giving discipline, education, and also at the end of that service, they are giving a lump sum amount. I don't. And Agniveer, main thing what Agniveer does in forward is that it supports the army through a transition, because today is gone are the days when the foot soldier is that important. Today, technology has evolved. There is AI. There is drones. Um,
The
the
cyber warfare.
Correct. So the battlefield has gone into a different era altogether. So it is no more the foot soldier fighting. So that and the armed forces needs to get leaner and tactically more efficient to bring in more technology. Anyway, yes, ma'am.
So next, the India UAE relationship, we can just make it as two part, like before Modi, after Modi.
My observation again, I've been traveling a lot in North Africa. Here, there was nothing called India UAE relationship before Modi, to be honest with you,
Okay.
because since PM Modi ji came here in I think 2014 itself, he made his first visit. So he was the first prime minister to visit the Middle East and
Okay.
UAE in 30 years. And whereas the population of Indians here is how much? I think it's about more than 5 million.
Hmm.
So there's a maximum concentration of Indian citizens living abroad, and there was uh, no prime minister gave that importance to the Middle East, except when there was a problem. And there was cursory statements about Palestine and Israel, but the biggest thing was the personal relationship Prime Minister Modi ji has made with all the leaders in the Middle East. There is not one leader in the Middle East, whether it is the king of Saudi Arabia or the ruler of UAE, His Highness Mohammed bin Zayed
Zayed.
Al Nahyan. He Even the first time when he visited, he was here with all his brothers. That's not accorded to even the U.S. president. They
Okay.
never went with the brothers. So that's the personal. Like, he has been giving that big push, and he another thing which I've seen in the foreign policy part about the Middle East I've seen is that most of the UAE ambassadors have been very fluent Arabic speakers.
Okay.
It's like handpicked up, because I've not seen the that kind of a thought process going in. I can tell you another incident which was in 2014 or 2014 end, when this Iraq crisis was happening, when about 25 nurses were stuck in Erbil.
Right.
Okay, so that I also, even me, I got a call from the embassy here,
Hmm.
because the defense attaché that time was Group Captain Prem Kumar, who was actually my postmate, who was
Okay.
here as he called me. He says, and that was maybe 2 months after Prime Minister Modi had taken office. Modi ji had just become Prime Minister. That's when this happened. About 25 nurses were stuck in Erbil in Iraq. So the message from the Foreign Ministry was, do whatever is required. We need to activate helicopters to get these people out. We saw that in evacuation from Yemen.
Hmm.
We saw the Indian Navy evacuating. They evacuated everybody. Then we saw the success of the foreign policy in Ukraine, when all these students, because of the intervention of Prime Minister Modi ji, and Where is it that an Indian Prime Minister could stop a war?
The one
Where,
from South Sudan, that was
yeah,
even more challenging. I read
yeah,
like the landing that I think it's a C-285 carrier, I guess. So
correct.
landing itself was very challenging, where it was
Yeah,
pitch dark. There were no
dark night.
airstrips.
Yes, yes. So that impact. That's what I'm saying is there is interventions wherever Indian citizens are. You like today an Indian citizen anywhere in the world can feel comfortable. Anywhere in the world, you know that there is somebody. You see, this was never the case. So post Modi and pre Modi, I would say that I don't think in the Middle East there is one leader who is more respected, a non-Muslim leader who is more respected than Prime Minister Modi. You know, look at Saudi Arabia. We have yoga being taught there,
Right.
and it's become they have taken to it big time. So these are all these policy initiatives, small things. So right from day one, you saw that International Yoga Day being celebrated. Then Atmanirbhar Bharat again is that the defense push, whether it is, so it's all I don't know how to put it actually.
Yeah, even
So
our minister, Srimati Smriti Irani, was taken to Medina, like the
yes.
most sacred place for the Muslims. I think she was the only woman being allowed there, if I'm
See,
correct.
one thing today is, you know, is the Indian passport. When you
Right.
hold an Indian passport, I don't know if people traveling abroad would vouch for it. Is that today when you give your Indian passport or show your Indian passport, I don't think any Indian is feeling a little, again, of pre-Modi days where I myself used to feel it when I used to travel abroad, honestly. So, there is something today you give your passport, you're respected anywhere. When you go to Europe, anywhere you walk in. So, and that is the change which is not visible to the people, right? This is not visible means in policy actions. This has to be felt. This is my feeling is that today when a war can be stopped by an Indian Prime Minister, that is amount. He's gone to the world stage. He's a world leader, and I wish Indians can support him more.
True. Recently, yesterday, I think a person from the External Affairs Ministry, we have taught a lesson or we have given a gyan to USA where there are some student protests going on here. So we have just given a statement saying uh, the democracy is not what we speak in other countries, it's what we do in our own country, like similar words like that. So how do you see this? Is it that Vishwaguru moment of Narendra Modi ji?
Look again, my this is again entirely my personal opinion because I think the winds of change started with Srimati Sushma Swaraj when
Right,
she was the foreign minister. The foreign ministry has been one of the flagships for the Prime Minister Modi's administration.
right,
And I think the biggest masterstroke that Modi ji did was to pick Dr. S. Jaishankar as
right,
India's foreign minister. There is no, again, a Tamilian, born in Delhi, and there is no, I don't think there is any foreign minister ever in the history of India with that kind of a depth of understanding. And what you can see the way he carries himself, but he has the backing of Prime Minister Modi. He has the backing to say anything in the world stage. You saw all the interviews that he went like when the Ukraine war happened,
right,
when the Europe was pressurizing India to take a stand.
right.
His answer was, I'm standing on my ground. I don't have to take a position left or right. That. So the strength in the foreign policy, and now for the countries like, say, for example, China or Pakistan, or even now we saw how Maldives. I wouldn't put but China definitely feels very very unnerved by this muscular diplomacy. I would say, it's more assertive. It's India has never been an assertive nation anywhere. Like, I don't know if you remember there was a agreement signed in 2005 probably in Sharm el Sheikh
Okay.
where Manmohan Singh ji as Prime Minister had gone and signed an agreement with Nawaz Sharif of Pakistan in Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt, saying that both India and Pakistan are equal victims of terror.
Okay.
So the prime minister going in, I don't see that happening now.
Right.
These are the things. This kind of an arm twisting. So now it's definitely more muscular. India is in BRICS. India is part of BRICS. India is also in the SCO. So I think this positioning is required for Vishwaguru moment. You mentioned. This is a transition of the country
We are
from
also
being.
in Quad, U2, I2. Whatever that happens in the Indo-Pacific, I think India is in the prime position.
Yes, and India's look again. We have got a very very dangerous neighbor, and we are eating into obviously now the businesses are moving from China. Whatever expansion or growth is happening, India is moving over from China, isn't it? So like the iPhone moved here. Now Tesla is thinking of setting up factories in India. So we have got a very very pushy and very expansive dragon or in the northern borders. And another thing, the biggest risk for India is that they are uh, the way Pakistan is. They are tied up with Pakistan. Pakistan is almost like a puppet state or vassal state of China now. So earlier was okay. Even though China and Pakistan have always been a threat, there was always this. There was this Aman Kiyasha, and we want to be all this Manishankar Iyer going there and saying that you bring us and all this.
Right.
It's all stopped because and this is something for us for me as personally. I always in why are we talking, and that's the stand which now PM Modi has taken, thankfully,
Every
about.
soldier will have that feel. If every soldier, because the soldier are the real people who sacrifice their life. They see their brothers losing their life in front of their eyes. Obviously, any soldier's blood will boil if any prime minister of India will go and meet the prime minister of Pakistan and say bye bye.
Yes, 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 yes. So all again we saw what Uri. Never happened again. There was a surgical strikes ordered. We had Pulwama, and Balakot airstrikes, which was planned to such a precise details that the pilots who took part in that mission by morning 6 o'clock they were all back at home after
Yeah.
doing the mission. Conducting the these strikes at 3 o'clock, and so that's the precision which I think previously, from a professional point of view, the Indian armed forces, what Modi ji has done is that brought in a sense of self-belief, a sense of strength, and then there's professionalism. And all this was existing. It's the same people, remember. It's the same people in the defense ministry, it's the same people in the foreign ministry, it's the same people in the bureaucracy. It is the same IAS which is working differently now, or the IFS people, or the armed forces people. So that is brought up because of the person leading, and it's the transparency, isn't it? And the corruption. The corruption has been vanished from Delhi. This is what when I speak to people in Delhi, there's not there is accountability and transparency now, which was never there. To conduct this kind of like growth in the defense sector. Now he's brought in private players
Right.
into the okay. There's you hear all these jibes about Adani, Ambani, and but go to court. And again, a Tata is manufacturing aircraft, so that is private public participation, isn't it? So yeah.
Finally, one question, sir. What do you see in Modi 3.0?
I see, Atmanirbhar Bharat and Make in India going to the next level. You're talking about putting people in space now, ISRO, you know, and the integration. DRDO has been given a lot more teeth. So you will find more and more equipment made in India going into the international market. We just exported BrahMos missiles
To
to
Philippines.
Philippines where there are a lot of interest in Tejas aircraft. So I see India as the 3.0 as one of the premier players on the world stage, um, along with China. And he's already we are now at 3.8 trillion as an economy. He's already given clear target of 5 trillion. and of course we are still way behind USA and China by the GDP. So it is a much more. I think it will be a continuation of the Modi 1.0 and 2.0 and 3.0 promises. I promises revolutionary measures inside the country socially. I think will be. I think one of the biggest move might be UCC. We should get to see one nation, one citizen, you know, and those are the things. And I hope Modi 3.0 is he gets all the seats that he's trying to get. Hope he gets 400 seats, you know, because when you have a good leader, the nation is very fortunate. I think we all are fortunate to that India found a leader like this at the right time, and we so I hope he completes his 3.0 by then, because he's targeting 2047, right? A fully
Right.
developed nation. So all of us who travel, no more of, even now I see this reverse migration taking place. I know of friends who are coming back,
I know.
back into India.
I know.
So, and he was one, as the chief minister itself, he used to talk about the demographic dividend. So Indians are smart people, and why not? Let's stay back in country and start building the country than going around the world, right? So
Thank you, sir. Let all your wishes and all our dreams come true post this election. Like June 4th is the election results. Post that, let all our dreams, like that 400 and a thumping majority, everything come true. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you for coming and sharing wonderful experience of Narendra Modi as a chief minister, like the earlier days of Narendra Modi, which many one would have never heard of. Thank you for your time, sir. Thank you.
thank you, madam.
Jai
Okay.
Hind.
Jai Hind, Jai Hind.